probably know the history of these shoes. They dropped initially as a concept Japan pair, basically a Japan/Asia only exclusive back in 2001. Kith retroed them as part of their Miami store / Miami Art Basel pop-up in 2016, where it was basically unattainable because if you weren't in Miami and you weren't having people pick up pairs for you or queue up for you, there was no way you could get these. But fast forward to June 13th as a global release and June 14th here in Malaysia, we finally have the linen Air Force Ones. And I am so happy that I have these. So happy that I had to double up. But that is the official color code /tag. The official colorway is linen /atmosphere true white. So linen being the brown color, atmosphere is the pink, or the atmosphere pink. You don't need to know about the box. It's just a standard Air Force One box, but there you go. So for the first time, you have this released in mass quantities. And the reason I doubled up, or that I'm about to triple up, isn't just because of the hype behind it, but I have always felt that the linen Air Force One was a very elevated shoe. It was the way that the color placements were, the way that the colors were utilized on this shoe made it seem very high end. You know, like when I look at this color combination, I always think of the Jasper, what were they called again? The Jasper Louis Vuittons, basically Kanye's signature shoe with Louis Vuitton. And then he carried his design language over to Nike, and it had the same sort of light brown with a pink shade to it and white. And I don't know, there's just something about the way that pink looks on brown and the brown looks on the white with the pink outsole. It just makes it, yeah, it's one of the best colorways of the Air Force One. So they were supposed to be released June 13th here in Malaysia. The drop date got pushed forward for some reason on sneakers in Malaysia. On the sneakers website, we don't have the sneakers app, and I was able to cop a pair on release day. They didn't sell out, and then I tried again the next day because for some reason they were dropped off of the sneakers page. But if you were to look up Air Force One on the Nike shoe search, you'll find a pair of these, and it says launching in sneakers, and then it will take you to the buy page, and then you can just click your size, and it's still there. For all you Malaysians out there, this pair is still available on the Nike Malaysia website, and also available on the Atmos website as well. So if you were looking to get this shoe, get them. That's just plain and simple. Another memory that I have of this is when Fat Joe actually worn them. If I'm not mistaken, one of the TS exclusives back in the day was actually also inspired by the linen. They just had a TS logo. I cannot seem to find pictures. I remember looking at it at like some MTV show. It wasn't MTV Cribs. That was one where he licked the bottoms of the shoe, or licked the concords or something like that. But yeah, happy to actually have this pair back with an increased retail price of 539 Malaysia ringgit. But for the materials that you get, which I'm about to get into, I'm not mad. Before we get into that, it's just standard Air Force One silhouette. Everything is the same except for you don't get a lace doubre because this is a co.jp exclusive. Speaking about co.jp exclusive, I also have the 3M snakes. I've got the Coco snakes. What else do I have? I didn't get the Shibuya Halloween pack, but that's what released so far in Malaysia, and happy to finally have this. So the materials used on this shoe, the reason I took the shoe tree out, or shoe insert, is that this shoe actually has some of the best leather. If you look, I mean, I know that leather quality is subjective. It may mean that the the leather used is thin, but it actually isn't that thin. Like the cuts are pretty damn thick on the shoe, and the way that they feel in hand and the way that they just look at that, like that looks good, man. That is, like, when you look at it, you can see like the textures and all that stuff, so you could tell that this is actually, the material that they use is actually soft. What's interesting to note is that I think Scopes told this, as well as that guy that does sneakers over in Europe, Josh Dominic JD. He said that this shoe has the same exact product code as the Kith one back in 2016. So that means that it's not an AB style code. It's one of the ones with the numbers or the 201s at the back. So this could have, a conspiracy theory that I have is that they mass produced the pair, and they just probably, I mean the upper at least, and then they just gave the green light to the factories to just put the to start stitching the tops to the bottom and just call it a day. But yeah, the materials used on the toe cap, on the toe box itself, is pretty damn nice. The swoosh also has a very nice textured pink leather, and you could kind of see the blue or the actual color of the leather just peeking through, and I'm pretty sure that's how it looked like back in the day as well. The collar at the back, this also has really nice leather. The I'll get into quality control issues later, but that's the back, and the same thing that you get on the medial side, you get on this side. The pink swoosh on the toe box, just right there where the Dubray is supposed to sit. The tongue itself, if you cannot tell, is also a very nice leather. One way that you could actually tell it is that this actually has, you can see the cuts basically, and it's a very nice soft premium leather, so that like when it sits on top of your foot, you kind of feel like it's just enveloping your shoe, your foot, and just like, it's a very comfortable feeling to have. On top you have the Air Force One tag in white with the pink lettering, Air Force One in pink right there. On the inside you have a white liner. You also have this very nicely thickly padded Air Force One, you have this collar lining of the Air Force One, which is really thickly padded, and I just love the way that it feels on foot. For some reason, it just adds to the comfort level of this specific shoe. If you were to wear like the current Air Force One, the white on whites, the triple white lows or blacks or the mids, they just have that kind of very coarse sock liner, and it not only does it like attract sock bubbles faster than it would, I think, on this, but it just feels so rigid and so uncomfortable. That's the reason why people like bleed when they're trying to break in their Air Force Ones, but not this one, I think. So on the inside you also have a very I think this is a Duropon textile. This is what they used to have back in the day, and they also have that terry cloth lining material with the Air Force One pink in the back. It is fairly thick. It adds to the insole step-in comfort, but the main comfort of the Air Force One actually comes from the air sole unit that they have, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. So the main technology for an Air Force One is obviously just an EVA slab with the air sole in between, and that sits inside this rubber cup sole, which is stitched all the way around. Stars in the front, the air unit, the air lettering just in the heel and just popping just so nicely. Stars in the back as well, and you get to the midsole, which is all atmosphere pink. Such a lovely outsole. Like this feels like the Louis Vuitton Air Force One. This feels like the Louis Vuitton's Air Force Ones. I know it's not the official collab, but like this feels really premium for us that could afford it. And I'm not even mad at the price of $539, because like I said, the materials are just really nice, the construction. Now we're gonna get into my only gripe, which is just the quality control for each and every pair. So for this pair you can't see it so much, but for this one you can kind of see like it has ostrich like print material in the front. I know that's just manufacturing defects, it just could be the coating for the front, but I mean, you know, can't be mad. But for 539, like, I do want to just say something about it. This shoe doesn't have as much trace lines, which is what they usually do before they glue or stitch the soles to the upper. But on this side, which I'm assuming this is probably a different factory that produced it, you can kind of see like lines, and you can kind of see trace lines. So just some minor glue stains, but I mean, like, when it's going straight on foot, no one cares. But yeah, 20 plus years waiting for this to actually finally release. I'm happy. I'm really happy with this. Probably might triple up at this point, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible. But that's the Air Force One linen, guys, for 2024, dropped on June 14th here in Malaysia for the price of $539. They are still available on Nike sneakers on Malaysia and also on the Atmos KL website. So get your pair if you're looking. Like, don't try to resell this because they produced it in mass quantities. I mean, if you do, like, buy 5 and just hold on to it. I don't know what you sneakernomics people do, but it's an Air Force One. This is one of the, like the Jordan 1, it's gonna be very wearable. You can collect it literally, and you can hold on to it for a really long time because obviously it's a cup sole construction. So even if it breaks down in the future, all you need to do is just have the person just replace the EVA wedge. And just an overall tank of a shoe. Like, I think that I might want to play basketball in these just to, like, flex, but probably not gonna do that. In terms of sizing, I have a very high instep, so that's why I go with a 9.5. My feet sit right about there. I have like a little bit of space to the front, but that's how I like it because like I said, I have a high instep, so that means that the shoe kind of like sits a little bit higher on my foot. And if I go with a true size 9, which is the if I go with a size 9, which is my Coco Snakes, it's comfortable, but not as, I don't have as much breathing room as I could or like I would like. So very happy to double up on this shoe. An absolute legend of a shoe, one of the best Air Force Ones ever. Watch DJ Clark Kent's story on how he had to phone in his connections over in Japan back in 2001 just to know and just to stay on top of the sneaker game. He flew out to Japan a little bit earlier, 2 weeks earlier than his gig schedule, just to cop 13 pairs of these. He put all of them in 2 suitcases, put all of the boxes, flattened them out, and put them in his suitcases as well, just to bring them back to the States. And then not long after that, Mayer got his pair, Fat Joe got his pair. Everyone in the United States said that this was the best color, but DJ Clark Kent was the first one to actually get this over in the US. So the cult following, the story behind it, the design, the color, the entire execution of this shoe is just phenomenal. And you heard it from me here in Malaysia. I think I'm the first Malaysian to review this, so I hope that I am. And I know that this review is late because obviously with shipping they came, I think they arrived around the 18th of June. I was just flying back from Kuching at that point in time, but I flew back and I found these on my doorstep and I was so happy. So that is just the review of a pair of Air Force One that is just top tier quality, and just an amazing shoe with an amazing color combination to look at. This is the Air Force One linen, the 2024 retro, and I'm TJ Got Kick saying, and see you guys at the next one. Peace.